Welcome to the newest episode of Beyond the Fame with Jason Fraley. I'm your host, Jason Fraley, picking the brains of the top filmmakers, musicians, and artists of our time. Today marks the 40th anniversary of Eddie Murphy's film debut in the buddy cop action comedy 48 Hours on December 8th, 1982. I spoke to Murphy briefly on the red carpet when he received the Mark Twain Prize for American Humor at the Kennedy Center in 2015.
It's the highest honor for a comedian, this award. It's a wonderful thing.
Is it wild to be considered one of maybe the funniest guy of all time?
Yeah, that's all great stuff. And rarely do comics get Oscars and stuff like that, so this is great. This is the highest honor, and it's a great thing.
I also spoke with Trevor Noah, who showed up to pay tribute to Murphy.
Hey, sir, Jason Fraley with the radio station. When did you first discover Eddie, and were you blown away, and did he inspire you to get into the same biz?
Oh, I think it would be a disservice to say that I discovered him. I think I had the pleasure of being exposed to his comedy in Coming to America was the very first time. Yeah, my cousin came over with a VHS cassette, and we watched that, and it changed everything for me.
How was your Coming to America with The Daily Show compared to that?
I'm still living that experience, funny enough. That's exactly my experience.
Yeah. Do you have a personal favorite role? Is it that first one?
I think it would have to be in Coming to America. Is it Coming to America? I'm torn between Coming to America and The Nutty Professor, because what he did with the clumps was just it was a mind-blowing experience for me at the time. I was always shocked that people weren't more impressed by what he had done, because it was completely different characters acting together. It was mind-blowing for me.
That's like Peter Sellers' Strangelove, or Mike Myers, Austin Powers.
Yeah.
How would you act? Can you even imagine trying to do that? Act off yourself?
I genuinely cannot. It's a very difficult thing. Just acting with people that are there is difficult. To now act with people that are not there takes it to another level.
Yeah. What
set him apart, I think, was the fact that he was a superstar, and yet he still connected with every single person in that audience. He somehow maintained a balance of stardom and at the same time everymanness. And that was something that was amazing for me, is he didn't seem unrelatable, and yet at the same time we knew that his world was so far out of our reach. So as an audience, you were watching this guy who was a superstar, and he would tell you a story about Michael Jackson, but he wouldn't make you feel like it wasn't your world. He made you feel like, I'm your guy, and I just happened to meet Michael Jackson. And that was always fascinating for me, that he did really well.
And just wrapping up real quick, what's it like after been a couple weeks in on Daily Show?
Oh, it's insane.
Yeah?
It's absolutely insane.
Get used to it a little now?
Oh, I don't think you can ever get used to it. It's harder work. There's a lot more scrutiny. Yeah, it's an insane roller coaster, I'll tell you that much. So the weekends are just that little moment at the top of the peak.
Awesome. Well, enjoy tonight.
I next spoke with comedian Kathy Griffin.
You are known for fearlessness in all your stand-up. Did you borrow a little of that from Eddie, or did he inspire that?
So if I had to pick a favorite joke, when Cosby calls Eddie and says he's too vulgar, and then Eddie, who liked Cosby, calls Pryor, and Pryor says, do the people laugh? And Eddie says yes. And he says, do you get paid? And he says yes. And then Pryor says to Eddie, well, then tell Bill Cosby to have a Coke and a smile and shut the fuck up. So if I had to pick a favorite joke, that would be it. I'm just not going to tell it tonight because this audience will cringe, and rightly so. But I also like Dreamgirls. I mean, come on. Being a gay man, I love every frame of Dreamgirls.
I never knew you were a gay man.
Yeah, I've known since I was 3. I've known since I was 3.
Oh, do you have a favorite movie of his other than Dreamgirls?
Well,
like a comedic role?
I think I like Trading. No, you know what I love? This is okay. I didn't even tell him this because we were all in his room last night hanging out. Me and Eddie and Chappelle and Arsenio. I'm a big name dropper. I actually love Boomerang, and I've seen Boomerang 100 times. But I don't know if that's one he thinks of as one of his great, because it wasn't a franchise. I love Boomerang. I have the PM Dawn soundtrack from Boomerang. That's how much I love Boomerang.
Champion it. Everyone else is going to hold up Beverly Hills Cop.
That's right.
And all that
Everybody
stuff,
else can say that. Only I'm going to be the one insightful enough to really ring the bell for Boomerang.
Ring the bell for Boomerang.
Yeah, the only chick. When I saw the lineup, part of me is like, hey, I'm the only girl. And then I went, wait a minute, I'm the only girl. So it's something I take pride in. And, when I get to play here, or I'll be at Carnegie Hall November 12th, every time, I take the stage, I feel it's a feminist statement. And also I tell jokes that are hilarious.
Along those lines, I saw you doing a little bit of a boxing speed bag over there.
Yeah, that's how I treat guys. Nether regions. I'm going to try to be politically correct. Yeah, so
that's in Europe, right? Nether regions.
That's one of the. It's a newly franchised country. Yes. we're going to send some drones over it, and then there'll be the drone papers. He's done it all, because this is a guy who started out as a teenage stand-up comic, then SNL, creating iconic characters. By the way, like, some would argue maybe not SNL's best time, and he still broke out, and then it was like, bye-bye, now movies and movie franchises, and once again creating roles, everything obviously from Beverly Hills Cop to Shrek, that people talk about all the time. So that is no small accomplishment for a comedian. And, to be nominated for Academy Award, that's also unusual for a comedian. So he's just done so many things that most comics aren't able to do. And he just has the talent to push through no matter what. And Nutty Professor playing all those characters, I mean, most people are happy to play one. He played the whole movie.
Were you in the runner-up for Shrek? We're close to get Donkey?
I do have 2 lines in Shrek. I'm going to talk about that tonight.
Oh, you do?
Yes.
Really?
I don't know my 2 lines in Shrek.
Oh, okay. Well, now you do.
But I do know I have them.
I next spoke with SNL alum Jay Farrow, who does a mean Eddie Murphy impression.
Hey, nice to meet you, sir. It's a pleasure to meet you. So when do you remember first seeing Eddie? Either on TV or when would you actually first become aware?
Golden Child.
Yeah?
That's the first time I saw him. It was like in 90, I don't know when it was. It was like I was 8. I was 7 or 8. So it was like 94, 95.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it just made an impression that it just stuck in your brain. Like,
He was
that
making
guy's
noises
gold.
and making fun. He was funny. He was making noises. Who else does that? Like, I was like, I make noises too. I was like, you can get rich making noises?
Yeah.
I was like, yes. I didn't say that. I just, I was like, oh my God, you can actually make people laugh just just doing noises. He was just doing noises. It was so funny to me. I love that movie. It's so funny. My brother Numsy, I should be purged. He said he should be purged. I should be purged. Purge me. I have offended my brother Numsy, this beautiful brother, as I touch your face. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that was pretty damn good right there.
Thank you.
You've mastered it. Were you in front of the mirror, or you just?
I do it all, man. I've watched this stuff so much, so it's just like, it's like clockwork. And then the grandma said, keep us on me. I tossed this night between the crack of your ass. Wanna clean? Mine squeak clean. I'm clean, mine. And he just goes like that. He said, what you think I get? We take an asshole by the car wash? Well, you gonna talk about somebody cool and clean, but you can't clean mine. I can't clean mine. He said, I'm gonna clean it right now. Case in point.
All right, well, we got to get down the line. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
I also spoke with SNL alum Kevin Nealon.
So you joined the SNL cast after his big run there. What was the legend of Eddie alive and well on the set? Did people swap stories about him and all that sort of
Well, it was interesting because I think he was on during the Gene Domanian years. So Lorne Michaels wasn't there. So it was like a different regime. So it wasn't like, I think, even though there was talk about Eddie and, obviously everyone recognized for his talent, we were there with Lorne, so it was more about the original cast. The Belushi and Aykroyd and those guys, Chevy Chase, Lorraine Newman, all those.
But do you remember watching him, as a comedian yourself, like, watching him before you joined the cast?
Yeah, I watched them on Delirious, that stand-up special. He had the red jacket on, leather jacket and the pants. And when he first came out, I thought to myself, that is so corny, But he was so funny and so talented. By the end of his act, I'm thinking to myself, I wonder where I can get an outfit like that.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. You never went and bought the red one yourself? No?
But, well, I couldn't pull off something like that. I wore it for like 5 or 6 years, then I dumped it.
Oh, well, that's true too.
Yeah.
And then I know you've worked with other SNL guys in movies too. Like I know Sandler and Happy Gilmore and stuff. Compare working with that versus with him and with Eddie and Daddy Daycare. What is there something with the post SNL guys that transfer?
Well, I know Sandler a lot better than Eddie. Sandler I've known for years, and I've done a lot of his films and
doing the bull dance.
Doing the bull dance, feel the flow, harness the good, block the bad, circular. Put
All
the quarter
things.
in, watch it go around. All good things. Every time I do that, somebody reminds me of another line I said.
Do people quote that to you a lot?
Oh, yeah. But yeah, with Sandler, we're friends. I like Eddie, but we're not friends where we hang out and stuff.
Yeah. But what was it like working with him in Daddy Daycare?
It was great. He was very professional. He knew his lines all the time, and there was like I said, there's a camaraderie between these comedians. Because you kind of know each other and what you go through, and yeah, I had a lot of respect for him, and I think it was mutual, and we had a good time.
Awesome. And just to wrap it up, what's your role tonight? Are you allowed to?
My role
tell
tonight?
us? Yeah,
I'm
what are
just
you gonna
I'm
get
just
up
one of the comics paying tribute
Yeah.
to Eddie, and I'll try to come up with something.
Give us the bull dance on stage.
Do the bull dance, feel the flow.
All right, cool. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
And finally, I spoke with Murphy's SNL co-star Joe Piscopo.
TOP's big. That's huge.
Oh yeah, you know TOP? Yeah.
I do.
How do you know us so well?
Because I'm a radio geek.
Junkie?
Yeah, radio junkie. I'm on the radio every morning on 970 AM, the Salem station in New York, The Answer.
Okay.
And we and TOP. That's your That's a big station.
Oh, yeah.
Who owns it now? Is it the?
It's well, it was Bonneville. Now it's Hubbard.
Yeah. Amazing. But radio's hot now. Radio's jumping.
Yeah. Why do you enjoy doing it so much? Is it the theater of the mind type
when
thing?
when we're talking right now, you're talking to that one person listening right now knows we're talking to them, and we're talking to them. And when I open the mic in the morning, I'm talking right to that one person.
Speak directly into their mind.
Yeah, you do.
Do you remember the first time you met him first, both off the stage, and then about your first time working with him on set?
Yeah, that's a good question because I met him right off of Lorne Michaels' office when he was seated in like this holding area. We were all the new guys. Yeah. And it was, hey, this is Eddie Murphy from Long Island. We hit it off, shook his hand, could see from day one, this is a great kid. Grounded, funny, joking, brilliant. It really was nothing shy of just, whoa. And then we went from there to audition, the 17th floor at NBC, and we did the word association sketch that Chevy Chase and Richard Pryor did.
Legendary.
And Eddie nailed it and was as funny as Pryor. And I'm looking, I had to take a moment and said, oh my God, we got gold. So we all ran to Gene Domanian, the producer. This is your guy. This is your guy. And then we started hanging. We just will hang out forever. We would hang. I'd go to his house. I bought him from Long Island to Jersey. And then he moved 2 minutes from the house. And we would get Christmas morning and late nights and shining.
You spent Christmas morning together?
He would show up at the house with presents for my kids, my young son Joey at the time, and my ex-wife, myself. How thoughtful is that? On his way to Long Island to see his family when he first started making money, you know.
He wasn't dressed as Santa, or he didn't show up in the red leather, did he?
No, red leather.
Red leather Santa.
Yeah, no,
that would be awesome.
That was later. That's very funny. No, but it was he's like his brother, man. He's like a brother.
Well, that's so cool that you guys are that close. Is that rare, or is that pretty common between SNL cast members?
Yeah, there is a brother and sisterhood. I see Jay Farrow over here. I mean, the age difference is quite dramatic, but you feel like you're part of that family that Lorne Michaels created. Yeah. And very grateful for that. And always grateful to SNL for that. But with Eddie, it was a little more than that, I think, he and I. We were just gravitated toward each other. I think because we were opposite. He's very cool, and I'm like a dork.
Did you ever have a favorite SNL skit that he did?
You know what? Great question. No. But what would make me laugh, what I would just take time to watch, Gumby used to make me fall over laugh. And I was in those sketches, so if you'll note those sketches, Mr. Discipline over here, I was laughing most of the time. So Gumby would make me laugh, but when he did the Buckwheat stuff was funny, and when he did
Hot Tub.
Yeah, Hot Tub was great. James Brown, I couldn't believe he did that. But when he was in prison, I want to kill. What does it say? A kill a white man. I want to kill a white. That was like so edgy, so edgy. Yeah. It was great, and it was well acted. I love to watch him be in those serious modes. Do
you think you couldn't get away with some of that stuff today?
Yeah, good point. You couldn't do Ebony and Ivory today. Yeah, but we're still going to show it tonight.
Oh, I can't wait. What are you going to do out there for him? Do you have anything special lined up? This isn't going to air till the morning, so you can.
Yeah. No. We're going to do a little bit. I'll do a little bit of the old man, maybe have some fun, and then I'll introduce some things. And I want to talk from the heart a little bit. And how young he was. People forget how young he was. He was just 19.
Kid.
Isn't that the wildest thing?
Wow.
That's good. Tell me your name again now.
Jason Fraley.
Jason Fraley.
Nice to meet you, sir.
You too, man.
Absolutely.
You're very kind. Thanks, Jason.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for listening to Beyond the Fame with Jason Fraley. Our theme music is Scott Buckley's Clarion. Remember to give us a 5-star rating if you like what you hear. We'll see you next time.
Explain your DNA on 10 cases, man.
You're inside the police interrogation room with the alleged Potomac River rapist.
I'm not guilty on any of this stuff.
So calm, so reasonable. Could this be the man who terrorized women for 9 years before murdering a brilliant scientist 2 decades ago? Experience one of the most fascinating true crime podcasts available. Join crime reporter Paul Wagner for Unknown Subject, Season 3 of WTOP's American Nightmare series. Search American Nightmare Podcast on all podcast platforms.
I wanted to take a second to tell you about an app I really enjoy. Living in the DC area is great, and Podcast DC gathers all of the local shows that I like all in one local app. Health, sports, local news, politics, and so much more. Podcast DC is the new local app with hundreds of DC area podcasts to choose from. I can earn exciting rewards just for listening and share the podcasts I love instantly. Available in the App Store or in Google Play, listen local with Podcast DC.